Welcome back, everyone, to another teachable moment on the Educational AD podcast. We'll be right back with Dr. Troy, but we do want to give a shout out to our sponsors. These are companies that I used as an athletic director. You should be using them too. So don't hit that fast forward button. Stay with us for the next 3 minutes and listen to our sponsor shout outs. Here we go. We want to say thanks to Sideline Interactive indoor score tables and video boards. Go to sidelineinteractive.com and you can schedule a live web demo to see their score tables and their score boards in action. Their products generate income for your athletic department, but they also create the ultimate game day experience for your student athletes. Go to sidelineinteractive.com for more information. We also want to say thanks to Vital Signs Wall of Fame. Go to their website, vitalsignswalloffame.com. Check out their interactive touchscreen video consoles. It's a great way to show off your school record boards for all the teams. It's also a great way to showcase your school's Hall of Fame and simply tell the stories about your school's proudest moments and your top role models. The website is vitalsignswalloffame.com. Mention the podcast, you'll get a nice discount. vitalsignswalloffame.com. We want to thank Gipper. Gipper is the official social media graphics solution for the podcast. And if you go to their website, their team is going to show you how to create world-class marketing content to promote your teams and celebrate your athletes' accomplishments. Gipper is used and trusted by over 3,000 athletic programs across the country. It's professional graphic design made simple. Go to Gipper.com. Tell them you heard about it on the podcast. They'll take good care of you. That's Gipper.com. We also want to thank our friends at Snap Raise. Have you ever spent days and weeks with a fundraiser and ended up getting little, if any, return? Stop right here. Go to snapraise.com/EDAD. Hands down, the best online fundraiser out there. We used it at our school with great success, and so will you. And they also have some really cool platforms like Snap Manage, Snap Store. Also, you need to check out FanX. You'll find it all at snapraise.com. That's snapraise.com. We also want to thank Hometown Ticketing, the leading digital ticketing provider to schools and colleges. I don't think I need to say anything more, but I'm going to. Hometown Ticketing is digital ticketing that offers more support, more security, and more customization. Go to hometownticketing.com. Their team will help you make the best online ticketing solution. We want to say thanks to Home Campus as well. Home Campus is the exclusive high school and state association management platform. It's also your one-stop platform for things like schedules, student athlete eligibility and clearance, and all the things that go with that, helping parents upload forms, tracking coaches. As an AD, I used Home Campus every single day, and it was just great, and you're going to love it too. Go to homecampus.com to get started. We want to say thanks to Athletic Surveys by LifeTrack. If you've never used a survey to take the pulse of your parents or your student athletes, you're really missing out. Go to athleticsurveys.com. They're going to create a custom survey that's going to connect you not just with the complainers, the people that want to gripe about everything, but with the 98% that support your program. And that's a tremendously valuable tool to have when you're talking with a frustrated parent or your principal or your school board. Go to athleticsurveys.com to get started today. Let them help you take your athletic program from good to great. And we want to say thanks to our friends at Huddle. Go to huddle.com and change the way you see the game. As a football coach, I used Huddle for years, but when I became an athletic director, I made sure that our school was a Huddle school, and our coaches just loved the tools that Huddle provided that let them coach our kids up to their highest level. Go to Huddle. See why we believe in sports and teams believe in Huddle. Join the 8 million users. Turn your school into a Huddle school. Welcome back, everyone, and thanks for tuning in to another teachable moment with Dr. Mekia Troy. If you're new to the series, Dr. Troy is a certified master athletic administrator. She's the director of athletics at Creekside High School in Georgia, very active at the state and at the national level. And every week, she shares her wisdom and experiences with us on this series that we call Teachable Moment. So, Dr. Troy, welcome back. And what do you have for our listeners this week?
Thanks so much. Glad to be here with you again. Well, today I want to talk a little bit about us as leaders and our decision making. As athletic administrators, this is a leadership position where a lot of times we make decisions for our program that impact multiple people. So it's important that we are very thoughtful and considerate as to how we make our decisions, knowing that we have to make the best decision for the good of the most people. Doesn't mean everybody's going to be happy with every decision that we make, but you just kind of got to live with that. My dad would often tell me that you have to make the best decision at the given time with the information that you have. And for me, that's something that means a lot, because I'm one that sometimes will try to get every detail that I can get before making the decision. I want to know all the facts in every possible scenario before I finally decide this is what we're going to do. And in leadership, honestly, that's not always possible. There's always moving parts and things just don't stop. You have to be ready to make a decision and hold to it. It's better to go ahead and just decide on the situation and deal with the consequences or any other related actions that come after it. Because, I mean, in actuality, most decisions that we make don't have the finality that we think they do anyhow. There's always going to be a domino effect to the one decision that you make, and there's going to be something to come behind it. So you might as well just go ahead and make a decision. And as athletic administrators, I think that we, a lot of times, are working on a time schedule, whether it's what we're doing in budgeting, or it could be scheduling games, could be hiring, or things like that. We have to move and make decisions pretty quickly. So take in consideration as much as you can, but go ahead and make that decision and be ready to deal with anything that you need to deal with after that's said and done. Don't let that be the reason that you are slow in making your particular decision. I recall a time where we made a hire here a few years ago, and as the saying goes, hindsight is 20/20. When I look back on the situation, from the interview process, we were excited about the experience of the coach. We were excited about the previous success. There were a couple of moments where I believe we raised our eyebrows in question of a couple of things. But at that moment, the previous success, the experience, and then the time crunch that we had in making a decision for that upcoming season, we maybe overlooked a couple of those things that we might have normally taken more time to consider. And in doing so, my principal and I, we had to own the fact that we had 2 years coming up of a lot of mess that we had to clean up with the person that we made the decision about. As I look at it now, at that moment, I believe that we made the best decision with the information that we had, until more information became available after we'd already made the decision. So at that point, now all you can do is try to adjust and deal with things as they arise. And that happens often in athletics. Even if you think, hey, I'm a former basketball player, you shoot a shot and you hope for the best. But if you miss, you better get ready for a rebound or to get back on defense, one or the other. So you always have to have something that you're ready to do to kind of fix or address the situations that might not have been what you planned for. Doesn't mean that a shot that you missed was a bad shot. Maybe you took a good shot, but sometimes you miss and you have to make adjustments for what you're going to do next after that. And it's the same way as we're dealing with our decisions. We have to make the best decision that we can, shoot our best shot. And if it doesn't happen to go in, be ready to make the adjustments to address whatever comes behind it. So I believe that it's important for us to consider as many details and facts that we can and recognize how it impacts other people. However, we do have to make strong and sometimes quick decisions and be ready to deal with it. So don't let anything that might, I guess, procrastination slow you down from making a decision that needs to be made, particularly as you're starting out this new year. There may be a lot of things to consider, whether it's a decision about keeping a coach in place or how you choose for your uniforms or budgeting for the next school year, make the decision. Just make the call and go with it, because there's always going to be more work to do. So you might as well just do it. Make your decision and go from there, because either way, it's going to be work to do.
You bring up a couple of great points, and the idea of making the decision based on the best available information at the time. You don't know what you don't know, and this is what we have, and you make that decision. And then the other one, and I remember one of my early bosses used to say this all the time, and certainly it applies in hiring and then choosing not to renew, et cetera. But I think when there's a challenge, crisis might be too strong of a word, but when something's happened, he would say, the worst thing you can do is to do nothing. You need to make a decision, and as you said, based on the best information we have, that's what we're going with. And then you added, I guess, the third one, when you make that decision, you got to own it. Okay. Like you and your principal did. Uh, Always great stuff for our listeners. If one of them wanted to reach out and pick your brain a little bit more, and I know I say this every week, but it's true, listeners, you got a great resource here. What's the best way they can get a hold of Dr. Troy?
Hey, you can reach out on social media at Dr. Troy Me, or send me an email, drtroyme@gmail.com. Be happy to be a resource in any way to share and to learn from others.
Well, we really appreciate you sharing with us, and now hopefully we're on, that holiday break. So some of you may be hosting basketball tournaments or wrestling tournaments. Down here in Florida, it's winter, but we're hosting soccer tournaments too. But try to get some time away, try to relax, get some time for yourself, because 2024 is just around the corner. Mekia, thanks as always for sharing with us. You get some rest, and we will definitely see you next year.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
For listeners, we want you to get some rest, and we appreciate you listening. We also upload these Zoom recordings to the Educational AD Podcast YouTube channel. Come back next Thursday for another great teachable moment, and just about every day for new content on the Educational AD Podcast. We'll see you next time. Really want to emphasize, we appreciate you listening. We appreciate your support. And these sponsors help make the podcast happen. And these are all companies that I used as an athletic director. I really want to encourage you to use them too. Want to thank Vital Signs Wall of Fame. Their motto is to bring your school's legacy to life. Go to vitalsignswalloffame.com. If you're looking for a fundraiser, stop looking. Go to snapraise.com. We used it at our school. Hands down, the best online fundraiser out there. Snapraise.com. Hometown Ticketing is the leading digital ticketing provider to schools and colleges. Go to hometownticketing.com for more information. We want to thank Huddle. As a football coach, I used Huddle. As an athletic director, we were a Huddle school. Go to huddle.com to get started. Want to thank Home Campus. As an AD, I used Home Campus every single day, and they were just fantastic. Go to homecampus.com to see all the things they can do for you. Sideline interactive indoor score tables and video boards. You've heard me say many times before, probably one of the best purchases I ever made was our Sideline interactive indoor score table. Go to sidelineinteractive.com, schedule a live web demo, see their products in action. I want to thank Athletic Surveys by LifeTrack. At my schools, we use surveys for just about everything, for teachers, for parents, for coaches, and for kids. And the information that comes back gives you a tremendously valuable tool to have to share with parents, your principal, or your school board. Go to athleticsurveys.com to find out all the things they can do for you and your program. And we want to thank Gipper. Go to Gipper.com and start creating world-class marketing content for your school's social media channel. That's Gipper.com. Appreciate, like I said, you listening. and hope you'll get some time off. Want to wish everybody the very best of New Year's, and looking forward to bringing you more best practices in 2024. Have a great year.